The most precious resource on the planet is the time of individual human beings. And the number one competitor for their attention is, in fact, the smartphone, where people can drop out of any experience at any moment and do whatever they want on their phones. And while making money should never be the purpose of any enterprise, money is the measure of how well you fulfill your purpose. And all of that is incredibly important because we are shifting into this experience economy, where we've gone from an agrarian economy based off commodities to an industrial economy based off goods to a service economy. And today we're in an experience economy where experiences are the predominant economic offering, that experience are what people want today. And that's why goods and services have everywhere become commodities, right, where people buy them on price. And in order to create differentiation for your company, for your organization, for your destination, for your city, your country, whatever it might be, you have to today innovate in experiences. You have to go beyond goods and services to create experiences within each individual person and create that memory, which is the hallmark of the experience. And if you think about these distinctions between each one of these economic offerings, you can draw a line between any of them, talk about all the different distinctions between them, but let me talk about one that is in fact the most important, and that's time. It's about time. You are now competing against the world. You are competing against the world for the time, the attention, and the money of individual people. Time, attention, and money, again, are the three key currencies of the experience economy. And time is limited. We can only experience things 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we've got to fit sleep in there sometime. Right? But how do you capture their time? Because if somebody else captures their time, they're spending their time with somebody else, what are they not doing? Is they're not spending that time with you. In the same way, in today's media fragmented world, attention is increasingly scarce. It's hard to capture people's attention today. But if somebody else creates an experience where I'm spending my time and I'm giving them my full attention, what am I not doing? Is I'm not giving that attention to you. And finally, money is consumable. If I have €1 to spend and I spend it with some other company in some other industry in some other geographic area, what can't I do with that money? Is I can't spend it with you. It's gone. It's consumed. Right? So you're competing against the world for time, attention, and money. So therefore, what you need to do is you need to embrace the future of tourism. You need to embrace the future of tourism. We need to innovate in ways that are going to capture people's time, grab their attention, and get them to spend their money with us. So that future of tourism is incredibly important. And so I'm going to give you a number of principles that are really the future of what we need to do in tourism to capture people's time, attention, and money. Is that you need to charge admission. Now, of course, in most of tourism places, we know you charge admission to theme parks, to sporting events, to concerts, to plays, to concert halls like this and so forth. You expect that because it is a fundamental principle of the experience economy. Right, a fundamental principle of the experience economy because you are what you charge for. You are what you charge for. If you charge for undifferentiated stuff, you're in the commodities business. If you charge for tangible things, you're in the goods business. If you charge for the activities your people perform, you're in the service business. But you're in the experience business explicitly, economically, if and only if you charge for time. The time, again, that your customers spend with you, that your guests spend with you. That's what experiences do, is they charge for time. So we see that again in all these individual experiences within the experience economy, within tourism. But I'm also saying that we need to charge for tourism directly with an admission fee, fusing the real and the virtual. And that's the next principle for innovating in tourism for the future, is fusing the real and the virtual. Right? We need to be able to create these experiences for people. You've all heard about the metaverse, for example. You know that Mark Zuckerberg changed his entire company to name Meta. And when they made the big announcement on the metaverse, this is sort of, you encapsulated it down, right? This is a little highlight of that entire multi-hour announcement, is to mass customize your offerings. Mass customize means efficiently serve your customers uniquely. Give them exactly what they want, but do it at a price they're willing to pay. And that's how I actually discovered this progression of economic value, where I realized that customizing a good automatically turns it into service. If you customize a good, if you design it in such a way that you're creating it for individual customers, then if you look at all the economic distinctions, you're really turning it into service, right? Because goods are standardized, services are customized. Goods are done for an individual person, are standardized rather, but services are done for every individual. And that allows you to really turn from goods to services, to get out of that commoditization trap of having your goods be commoditized. In the same way, if you customize a service, if you design a service that is so appropriate for this particular person, exactly the service that they need at this moment in time, then you can't help but make them go, wow, and turn it into a memorable event. Turn it into an experience. So for example, Ritz-Carlton Hotels is famous for mass customizing all the services it has inside of it. Every worker at Ritz-Carlton Hotels, from the maid service on up to the president, always carries around with them a guest preference pad. And if anybody ever expresses a particular preference, they write that down on the pad. So for example, if you go into the hotel room at Ritz-Carlton and you have allergies and you want hypoallergenic pillows, well, you call housekeeping, they'll dutifully bring them up. When they're done, they write down on that preference pad that guest so-and-so prefers hypoallergenic pillows, right, in room such and such. That night it gets typed up, becomes part of your profile. The next time you go to a Ritz-Carlton hotel somewhere else in the world, never been there before in your life, and hypoallergenic pillows will be on your bed before you arrive. And they want to create this wow effect about how everything gets designed. The more time you spend with them, the more they're going to learn about you and customize to your individual needs. Now, how do you do that efficiently? You do that efficiently by thinking about your offering as Lego building bricks. Right? If you think about Legos, what can you build with Legos? Anything, right? Anything you want. Why? Because you have a large number of modules, different sizes, different shapes, different colors, and a simple and elegant linkage system for snapping them together, right? That's what modularity is. Modules plus linkage system. So if we think about that, where every guest that comes along, we want to take the right set of modules that this guest needs at this moment in time and bring it together, right? Bring the power of your company together to serve that individual customer, right, in their moment of need, exactly what they want. And also recognize that anything you can digitize, you can customize. Right? Digits, bits, right, are basically tiniest little modules that are out there. And so once you turn something into the realm of zeros and ones, you can instantaneously change a 0 to a 1 with no cost. Excuse me, so you can individually customize to every customer with very low cost. People desire experiences, right? Goods and services are no longer enough. What people want today are experiences. And all the experiences I talk about, of course, are memorable, right? Memorable is a basic characteristic of experience. If people did not remember it, then for them, it was not an experience. But increasingly today, we see that especially after COVID, is people want meaningful experiences as well. We're shifting not just from memorable experiences to highly meaningful experiences. Right? Because what did COVID do? The thing that COVID did is it wiped away all of those experiences that we were having. Right? We could get goods and services still. We get those goods delivered to us contactlessly in our home. But what we missed was the experiences, the shared experiences that we had with our family, with our loved ones, with our friends, with our colleagues, even with complete strangers. And so as we come out of that pandemic, we recognize we're looking for meaning as well. Not just the memorable, but the meaningful. And one more as well, and that is what increasingly people want is not the merely memorable, not just the highly meaningful, they want transformative experiences as well. And this is the future of tourism, is to go beyond the experience to guide transformations within your individual guests, to guide transformations, to help them achieve their aspirations. If you look at this progression of economic value again, right, experiences can be commoditized as well. In fact, experiences may be the easiest economic offering to commoditize, because the second time you have an experience, doesn't tend to be as good as the first. Third time, not as good as that, and pretty soon customers are saying, been there, done that. Been there, done that. That's the hallmark of a commoditized experience. But using this heuristic where customization is the antidote to commoditization. And commoditization is like the law of gravity. If you do nothing else, if you do not innovate, you will be commoditized. But customization lifts you up. You cannot help but be differentiated if you customize for individual guests. So what happens when you customize the experience? What happens when you design an experience that's so appropriate for this particular person, exactly the experience that they need at this moment in time? Well, then you can't help but turn into what we often call a life-transforming experience. An experience that changes us in some way. And that I call a transformation. A transformation is the fifth and final economic offering in this progression of economic value. We're using experiences as the raw material to guide people to change, to help them achieve their aspirations, to help them become who they want to become. Right? That's what transformations do. My colleagues and I, 2 years ago, wrote an article in the Harvard Business Review called The New You Business. And we talked about how difficult transformation is. And you think about any changes that you want to make in your own life, right? Transforming is incredibly difficult. And if we have to do it by ourselves, the chances we do it are not that high. So we're increasingly looking to companies to help us. We're looking for companies to be able to help us achieve our aspiration, to basically to achieve a new you. That's what transformations are. You're achieving a new you. A number of years ago, 2017, in fact, Vogue had an article, a cover story, where they said why transformative travel will be the travel trend of 2017. They correctly identified the trend, right? They grossly underestimate that it's only a trend of 2017. No, this is a trend now and into the future, right? Transformative travel, right? Why? Because when we travel is when we are most open to change. When we get out of our daily quotidian lives, when we get out of the daily things that we do and open ourselves up into a new area with new arenas, new vistas that we can see, new experiences that we have, that is when we're most open to change. And increasingly, we need to think about how we help our customers along that journey of transformation, right? If they're with us for a weekend or a week, chances are we're not making a big transformation within them, but we can help them along that journey that they are taking with transformation. So we need to innovate. We need to innovate in experiences. We need to innovate in transformations to help each one of our individual guests have the experience that they want to have and change and achieve the aspirations that they desire, right, to who they want to become. Right? That's where we need to spend our innovation today, in these goods and services. I talked about services as time well saved and experiences as time well spent. Well, transformations are time well invested. Time well invested. That people are investing their time with you to help them achieve their aspiration. There's no more economic offering you can create than to help somebody achieve his aspiration. So again, that is where we need to innovate. Now, the mega trend that comprises all of this, right? The one thing that we need to think about and how we innovate to compete in the future of tourism, you could summarize with this one word: individualization. That's what it's about. It's individualization, about getting, if you think about commodities, goods, services, they exist outside of us. Experiences exist inside of us, right? That's where the experience actually happens, is inside of us. Right, in reaction to all of the events that are staged in front of us. You reach inside of people and you create that memory. That's what an experience is. With transformations, you reach inside of them and you change them from the inside out. You're guiding transformations. You can't do it for them. They have to change themselves. Right? You can't guarantee it, but you can create the conditions under which people can achieve their aspirations. You can get more and more individual to them. Right? That's why customization is such a key in coming up to this progression of economic value. Because I'll close with saying that you can stay in the illusory safety of past practices and keep on doing the same things you've always been doing, then mark my words, you will be commoditized. or you can shift up this progression of economic value to get more individual with each one of your individual customers, that you can innovate in experiences and in transformations, and then you'll be economically rewarded. Obrigado. There you go.